In this tutorial, I'll be looking at form and input types. So let me make a comment on that. Form and input types. So the form is for creating sign-up pages, and login and some other things. So the form can be used for a lot of things. Can be used for filling personal details and the rest of them. So the form is a tag. So the form tag means you are declaring that you want to create a form. So let's see. Save. With anything show on the browser, nothing shows because we've not inputted anything inside the form. So let me just put okay. So the form has some attributes like action, method. So let me quickly talk about them briefly but we'll not be doing anything with them. We'll just talk about them. So what they call action. So what the action basically does is that the action is a it's a server side script that will validate the form you are creating. So this one will be for our PHP class, which is not yet time to hold. So there are PHP, or we can use Node.js, but that is not now for that. So that's one aside. So just that a form has an action this thing, or or this can be done by backend dev. So we have not got to the backend part yet. So let's just call this is action page dot php. So it does nothing literally for now because we have to create an a name of a page with a name of a PHP script with this action page.php. But it will not just work. I just want to show you how the blueprint of how it works. So action is a server-side script that validates the form. That means it's a backend script that tells the front end how the form should be collected. So we have the next one, we have the method. So what the method? There are two types of method in form in HTML. Sorry, it's form, not formed. There are two types of method. The first method is the get. So the get method, what the get method does is that it gets the input data and send it directly, and it shows in the what in the browser. Any information that you get, any input any input value that you get on your browser, it shows in the link. That's the get. And there's another one, post. So the post does not show in the link, but it just takes the information directly from the browser and takes it to the backend. So all these things I'm just showing you just overview because we are not to talk about it that much yet because we are still learning the basics of HTML. So when you get to the backend side of programming, that is when you understand better about the action and the method, which you have post and get. So now we have input types. We have a lot of input types in HTML. A lot of input types. A lot. I mean, when I mean a lot. So we'll be looking at few for now. We'll be looking at only text for now. Text, and I think okay, let's look at text and button for now. And let's just quickly work on this. Maybe you can work on this method. Let's see. So to write input, just use the less than sign, input. So the input also uses a self-closing tag. So you don't need a corresponding closing tag for inputs. So you should take note of that. So we have to tell the browser this thing which type of inputs are we calling. So the one that we are calling here is what? Text. So also, so let's save and let's see how the browser does it. So we'll see that we have a place that we can put input values. Sorry, you can see this place we can put anything we want to put there. So let me backspace. So this is a good example of what and of HTML input type. Now So the input type will contain some things like name. There's an attribute called name for input type. So the name is very important. The name is very important because it is the one that the backend will be able to use to assemble all our data. So anything I'm writing here, the browser does not understand that. Okay, the browser does not understand anything I'm writing here except the name. So the name will now be arranged, and the backend will take it and assign the value you assign to it. So that is how that works. So it is the name attribute that helps us arrange our input data and our input data in order at the back end. So let's just say input name. Let us call this one username. So okay, and the last one, let me just say we have some other attribute also, like we have the placeholder. Okay, what the placeholder does literally is that it helps us write like what this place implies. So let me see before I write the placeholder. See, can see that there's nothing showing inside this box, but when we add a placeholder to it, we will see that we'll be seeing some faint text. Let me just put inside the placeholder. Let me just say username. So you control save. Sorry, control and save. Now you can see that we're having some faint text. So when you tap on it and you type a word, the placeholder is gone. So the placeholder will just is just a faint text that will just describe, okay, what this place stands for. That's just the work of the placeholder. So in place of the placeholder, you can use another one called value. So contrast to say, now anything you put in the value, okay, refresh the browser. See, anything you put in the value, you can see that it's not faint. Why? Because the value will be the automatic value of the content inside your box. So you can see that you have to backspace before you can be able to put your new text. So that is why in HTML5 it is preferable to use what? Placeholder. So contrast to save. So placeholder, once you save, you can see it's faint text. So once you click on it, once you want to start typing, it starts from the beginning. But when you use value, the the name you've assigned to the value will show. So you have to backspace it before you can be able to continue your continue typing. So I will be looking at just two more attributes, which I call the class. Let me just say class. What class does basically, let me break this thing and break it down like this. So what the class does basically is used as a selector in CSS. So we use the class and the ID as selector in CSS. So we won't be talking much about the class, but just now there's what we call class and ID attribute. So when we get to our CSS class, that is when we'll be talking more. We'll be explaining what class does and what ID does. So for now, all you just have to do is to replicate the code we've written here and submit to the submission group. See you next class. Bye bye.